Well, hey everybody, Ben here from DMC Films and Cinderblock Studios, and welcome back to Cinderblock Studios Live, episode 010, or perhaps just... I've been saying it's like 00 in a number for so long, it doesn't even feel right anymore. Well, if you're new to the streams, my name is Ben Yonkel. I'm an art artist living and working just north of Pittsburgh, PA, here in the United States. And I am an acrylic painter by trade, and you can find more about my work at my website, cinderblockstudios.com. So tonight's topic is craftsmanship, the key to better artwork. I've been sort of planning this show for quite a long time, but wasn't 100% sure how to talk about it. I sat with the idea for a while, and I was like, I don't know, this way, that way. Not really sure what's happening, and finally, I sat down today. It was actually early this afternoon. I'm like, you know what? I want to do this show tonight. Let me finish writing out this topic, and we'll get right along to it. So I'm very happy to be here today. This show is probably going to run about an hour. For the time being, I'm just alone, but you never know. Some of the other artists from the YouTube art community may decide to join in as we continue on throughout the evening. So before we get to the actual breakdown of the topic and everything like that, I want to tell you a little bit what I've been doing this afternoon, as well as some upcoming projects here on the channel. So, this piece in front of me here right now, its working title right now is Dystopian War Poster, playing along with the idea of a post-apocalyptic society in this sort of world of the sort of this very totalitarian government and sort of this underlying resistance. So I have the support the resistance, and I gave them a little symbol, which is the backwards R in a circle. Also the bricks. This is just a regular piece of canvas, as you can see. And the bricks are all painted on. I think I actually had more fun painting the bricks than I did working on the poster. The actual poster is a piece of newspaper, which I burnt the edges of to give a more sort of used and worn look, and then I've been doing different layers of acrylic paint, and there's some charcoal in there too to really give it an aged look. This piece is probably about 95 to 98% there. It's almost done. I'm pretty happy with it. I want to try and get some highlights into the right hand, specifically lower right hand side of the poster, which is actually, I did this fairly specifically. It's the business section of my city's newspaper, just as an extra layer of intrigue to that. There's going to be a video where I'm going to be narrating this project. It's going to end up being probably in the range of about a 10-minute video, and you'll probably see it in the next couple of weeks as I finish up this piece this weekend and get around to editing. It'll be a lot of time lapse as well as some narration. This is me taking you through the entire process from the sketch to the completed piece. My signature was the other fun thing. I was like, where am I going to sign this piece? I think it would be too much to distract the piece to do it on a brick, so I'm going to find a way to work it into the poster itself, and I think that'll be a really fun project. For today, however, I'm not working on this during the live stream, unfortunately. I am going to be doing a little bit of some sort of a sketch type project. I've got some watercolor paper down out on my table here, taped out, and I'm going to be working on essentially some thumbnails in watercolor based on some sketches I've been doing in my sketchbook as of late. So that's sketchbook 14, as it were, and we're just going to dive into tonight's topic. I do want to have a quick look over on. I shared this mostly on all my social media sites, everything like that, and I'll have a look down here in the comments. Make sure I'm monitoring those for you guys and get back to those as often as I possibly can. truegenicode left a little message earlier in the day. Hope all goes well. I'll be here watching. Good luck. Thank you so much. Hope to hear from you more in the chat later on. Also, if you're watching, whether depending on where you're watching this, if you actually go to the YouTube watch page for this, you can join other artists and fans of and basically anyone watching, I should say, and we're there in the chat below, and you can have talk like that. We also have She Spins, aka Juanita, as some of us know her, saying hi. Hi, Juanita. Good to see you here. Always nice to have you guys watching. Oh, and we have a visitor. And there you are, Mr. truegenicode himself, hanging out. Oh, just give me a thumbs up. I'm guessing your mic's not on. Looks like he'll be hanging out and drawing with us this evening. So excellent. I'll have to flip over and have a look at what you're working on.
I don't know. Is it on? Is it working?
Oh, yep, you're working now.
Oh, okay.
That looks really interesting. You had a sort of a textured sequency thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, Phil. I'm doing one of those like random. Let's see, I get to focus here now. Come on. Like just random signs around this guy walking on a fire. I don't know yet. I'm having fun with it.
Well, that's always fun. Just figure out as you go along.
Yeah, just make random shapes and different shapes. I'm running out of ink though.
Excellent. Well.
No ink.
All right. Well, I'm going to get started into today's topic. I probably should mention, I think this is the first official, I mean, I've done a couple of live shows in the past few months, but this is, I think, a first official Cinderblock Studios live episode since like December. So finally happy to be back on the rounder. I don't know if rounder is a good word here. Rounder format. I'll say it anyway. So anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
And get started on this. Find a good sketch to start with.
Hey guys.
Well. If it isn't Yasmeen.
Yes.
You're early today.
Yeah, well, I actually, for the next couple weeks, won't be actually doing my own streams anyway, because I'm doing some freelance work. So, I'm pretty busy with that.
Anything you can show, or is it more wrapped up in a bottle right now?
Yeah, I'm afraid it's all wrapped up. However, I've actually finished the background layout, like, literally now. So I'm going to be starting a new piece anyway, for this live stream at least. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Hooray for personal projects.
Well, yeah, because when I'm like waiting for like revisions and stuff, I'm just like,
yeah,
oh, okay, have a couple of hours to do my own stuff, so go back to that. I'm actually really proud of this drawing. Actually, I'll probably save it and transfer it so I can actually show you guys too. You guys may recognize it actually, because it's been actually a while since I've actually been able to work on it. But I finished all the line work for it.
Choppy for a minute there.
Sorry?
Could just be on my end. Said you got choppy for a minute there, though it could just be on my end.
Well, I think I heard some weird stuff for a little bit on my end too. Sometimes you guys can still hear me though, so I'm like, I'm gonna assume they can still hear me.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's incorrect.
A lot of times it's more. Let me double check here and just make sure my connection's good. All right. All right. You just asked me, and I've been working on that dystopian war poster.
That looks really cool.
I don't know.
I haven't seen any of your guys' stuff as of late, because last week was like my first week. I had like 12 things to do in 4 days.
Yay! Your voice has finally came back.
Oh.
I missed all of that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been going on.
Last week it was my first week on the job, and I had like 12 backgrounds to do. So it was like, oh no.
Last week I actually got my first actual job. So.
Yay.
Wait, how many jobs?
My first actual job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
4 jobs. It's
No, not 4 jobs. First job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, first. Okay. Because I have known some people that have actually held 4 part-time jobs.
Yeah, that sounds
just
insane.
one.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's way more reasonable.
It's already done though, because it only lasts 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like a seasonal thing. It comes back during fall, and I'll be working then again. But the guy who does it also has like a home theater business that he does for people. He sets up home theaters, and he's looking into me for like a apprenticeship or something. So, put me a good
That would be
that's
question.
neat.
Yeah, wonderful job. I would love that.
Excellent. I think it's time we dive into tonight's topic. So I've been playing with the idea of craftsmanship and what that means for art and for particularly painting, but in art in general, it seems to be a really important thing. And I wasn't sure what it like. I was trying to pinpoint. I'm like, okay, what exactly does craftsmanship mean? And I was trying to write this show, and I was like, crap, I don't know. I can't pinpoint it. So kind of kept me from doing this show for quite a while, but I think I finally have nailed it down. So just a quick Google search kind of actually got me started on it.
I was about to say, just Google it. I'm sure you can
I
find
know. And definitions, but I think for art, it's a little bit more of a combination of the two. Need my water there. It's getting parched.
You've already been
So
talking too much.
I
That's
guess.
horrible.
So when I started kind of combining the definitions a little bit, I came up with this. So I called it the executed skill in a particular craft, as well as the quality of the design and the execution of such a design. If that's not confusing.
It makes sense.
So,
But it can be
well,
also interpreted by many things too.
right. So, where was I at on here? So, I think you want to have both a solid concept, whether it's something you're planning or something you're letting it be more spontaneous with, but just to have the idea in your head, at least to a degree, is really important, as well as having, whether you're trying out new techniques in a project. So you're basically making something that looks like it took you a long time to do, and you didn't just throw it together.
So you put time and effort into it.
Right. It's not just like, I'm just going to do this and throw it out there and call it art. And it's like, well, yeah, it is. It's sure it's art, but it just looks like you wasted your time on it.
Yeah.
I'll take offense to that. I love my scribbles.
Well, I love my scribbles too, but
No, I'm
You also
are you
don't
trying to
call
call
it
your scribbles
masterpiece.
I don't know. When I have someone like say, "Oh, that looks like crap," when it's a scribble, and then when someone says, "Oh, that looks really good," to like a fully finished art, I like when people say my scribbles look good and not my actual artwork for some odd reason. It means more to me.
I've had people say my sketch. I've had people say that my sketches look better than my finished pieces.
Oh, I love your sketches. I love your sketches so much.
Kills my self-esteem.
I love your sketches. I really do. They always inspire me. I mean, your regular art does too, but your sketches are like, it's like I want to try aim for that. Your paintings, because I'm not a painter, and that's probably why. Like I don't need to do that. I'm not gonna aim for that because I can't do it.
Sure you can.
Yeah. Anyone can make a happy little tree, according to Bob Ross.
People generally love
trees are happy.
my thumbnails.
Thumbnails are fun. I've got a video coming up to do at some point on thumbnails.
They're a lot of fun. Also, they allow
They're
you
so
to
much fun.
experiment so much and quickly with a concept and idea. You save a
Speaking
lot
of
of
which, I'm doing
time.
some nails right now.
I see that. I'm just being
Can really-
spontaneous and just drawing whatever shape I need to.
Hey,
use
that
the box.
works too. As long as you take your time. That's all I'm saying.
No. I am rushing this because I have no ink left in my pens. I'm 2 days ago. I'm 2 days ago over there and just go to my art desk and get like 6 more. I'm just using these ones I have like no ink left in them. I really should go get one though.
So, as I thought about this further, I came up with sort of 2 parts of it that I think are really important, and it's the combination of mastery and artistry. So, on the mastery side, I looked at understanding elements and principles of design, and that sort of technical mastery. But there's also the mastery of whatever medium you're using. So it's like, okay, I consider myself an acrylic painter. I'm using watercolor right now. I'm not great at watercolor. I'll admit that. I don't have a strong mastery of it. So I'm doing something in watercolor. There's like when you look at something finished that I did in with watercolor, you might say, I don't think you fully understand how to use that. So part of that goes into your level of craftsmanship as well, and sometimes some of the work you do is going to suffer because you just have inexperience in whether that be something like your line work or something like your use of a medium. But of course, it will improve over time. Let's find another good section. Oh, the silence.
I don't know what to say.
Everyone working and not having anything to say.
It's the other side of the brain, man. Forces me to keep quiet.
I'm just not used to talking.
Linguistic skill just go out the window. It's like, that's not necessary. Then I'm actually doing some modifications on the background, but on my computer, when I should be doing it on your stream.
Yeah. So that's sort of the mastery side of it. In addition to knowing a medium and knowing the medium you're using, there's the level of when you understand that a medium's limitations, what it can and can't do, then you can bend and break the rules, either to create a style or to or to take your style and transition between different mediums or media, which is a sort of a subset of craftsmanship. To say, regardless of what medium I'm using, this technically me, because of all the things I've tried and played with over the years. So you can say, oh, that's definitely a Ben piece, or that's definitely a Yasmeen piece, or that's definitely a truegenicode piece. So you can say, oh, this level of craftsmanship will translate between the media.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting how you can still kind of recognize the individual artist's stamp on their stuff, even though I could be trying to imitate somebody else's style, but it'll never be fully that style. There's always a little portion that's me in it.
Keeping yourself to yourself.
The craftsmanship would be the signature of the drawing. I have my own style. You can copy my style, but you won't have my craftsmanship being my signature style that you can never fully copy.
Right.
Not unless they obliterate their own style, which I've seen certain artists do.
Mm.
Yeah, and at that point, it's just why?
Why are you drawing if you're not going to draw something you enjoy?
I mean, it's not like craftsmanship can't be shared though upon people. I can teach someone my style. Ben can teach someone how to paint his way.
Yep.
You can be shared and shown.
Just so long as you're not trying to be that. You don't want to be a knockoff.
Ben, I would happily be a knockoff of you if I could, but I can't.
No, you don't. Because then when you do that, you lose your individual voice.
You're
Well, I
also
mean,
not. You're also kind of stuck in a box at that point.
yeah.
Right.
That's how I was for a long time. It's like I only do anime artwork. I'm only gonna do anime. I'm not gonna do sketches. I'm not gonna do paintings, or landscapes. I'm gonna do anime. I'm gonna do this certain type of person. I'm gonna follow exactly how he draws it, since he's so famous and stuff. And I decided to finally branch off from that, and now I do a little bit of everything besides
Well, I
painting.
think most artists start off like I started off like that. My inspiration was mostly comic book artists, because they're more similar to my general style of drawing anyway.
Hmm.
Um, but because I was referencing more than one artist, it's kind of interesting because you kind of just build up your own style
Yeah, you
because
gotta
you're not
commit.
just referencing the one person.
Yeah, you kind of start combining styles. I mean, that's how a lot of
Yeah.
art comes to be, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's you're an individual is based on both the art a person sees as well as their experiences. So you're never going to get probably not usually going to get the same exact style every time with different artists, but you'll start to see similarities. People are influenced by different things, and a lot of times then the same things.
Yeah.
So you start to get different sections of that. All right.
I will
So
soon start drawing, don't worry.
at least you have a
Just,
picture to show. I'll say that.
It's a very pretty picture. So, yeah.
yeah, I made sure about that. I was like, yeah.
You could have popped up some really bad doodle, and it's okay. You will enjoy it.
You're gonna see some bad doodles pretty soon. I can tell
That's
you that
good.
much. Uh, the next piece that I'm
Oh,
thinking about working on is quite a bit different, so we'll see.
At least you have stuff to work on. I'm just drawing random things in boxes, and
wow.
it's working.
Technically, I'm being pretty random too. I'm just
But
playing
you're progressing.
playing with things out of my sketchbook, but
You're progressing with thumbnails. I should be practicing thumbnails. I used to do them, but I don't do them anymore because I never do landscapes anymore.
it's just so much fun. Well, you can do them without doing landscapes. I mean,
I mean, I've always done with landscapes. I think Title's Alt Shack taught me. I mean, Title's Alt Shack taught me everything I knew about landscapes, and I love that guy. I wish he did more videos, but I don't think he does anymore too often.
his teaser.
Yeah.
Come from the inside man. He's technically planning a comeback when he has time.
He needs a good time. Because I know that I would watch his videos over and over and over. I love this
Well, he
stuff.
got wood turning now.
Yeah, he does. I find that really neat, but it's something I can really follow along with. Even though I do have like every tool of mankind in the garage. It's like it's neat. My friends have done it even. Something I'm not interested in doing it though.
Right.
I really love this pencil.
It's a very niche thing.
Yeah, it looks good though. He does a great job at it. And I follow along and support him as best I can. But I miss those pencil landscapes that I don't see anyone else on YouTube do. I mean, you do your painting and stuff. A couple other people do painting, and I see some like anime and manga landscapes. But I never see someone do like realistic-looking pencil landscapes often. Like I love that. Josh Roddy hasn't done anything in a long time. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's kind of been
He got married.
slower.
He got married. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a commitment there.
I like how that's the excuse. That's hilarious.
Oh, I totally know that's why.
Over in the comments,
He's married.
over in the comments, Juanito said I actually was my idol, at least on the stream, that was crapping out before. So I'm had to have been a connection thing for me. We got Stanatorium in the house. He's a fairly new subscriber to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Suggested some oil paint overlay on my paintings a little while ago, and then that entire comment vanished. So I don't know what happened with that. But good to see you here. Glad to see you in the stream. So talked a bit about mastery, and then there's the level of artistry, which I think more people think of craftsmanship when you stop looking at a lot of the ideas of the basics and start playing with the idea of the craft. one of my notes on it was there's the level of the careful hand of the artist creates artistry. This not whether or not you have a careful hand. I don't have a careful hand. I'm straight. I'll get out, but it's the level of it kind of goes back to the are you taking your time, you know. So there's something else in here. Yeah, it's like don't rush yourself. You know, when you want to build, and again this comes with experience. You want to build a level of artistic confidence, and this comes in so much in terms of line work and sort of the underlying shapes in a project. Because a lot of times someone will say, "Oh, it's just off." It's like the shape and the lines are probably off, which is a section of mastery of the basics. But it's like, did you take the time to be sure your lines were good, or before you just started trying to polish it and render it out, or is it that slower process? In sort of the hand of the artist that really brings that out. It's quiet in here tonight.
I'm trying to follow along, but it's a complicated subject. I'm drawing, and every once in a while you like break in and out because of internet connection. I'm still I'm trying.
It's always fun.
Yeah, you sound like a robot most of the time, but that's okay. I like robots.
That's what Anita said, and I don't. I can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, it might be my connection. My connection's been out of whack lately. We had a big tornado warning last night, and storms are coming through like big time. Since then, my internet's been a little wacky.
Right. So, fingers are up. Yeah. Phases for oils, yeah, it's a thing if you like oils. I don't like oils. I hate them. It's the oil versus acrylic debate. Where the oils just look much richer. But I believe you. I still hate them.
I want to try oil because that's what Bob Ross says. They make it look so easy. It's like I need some oil paint because I want to try this now.
The nice thing
if I get oil paint,
acrylics-
I'll be good.
I know. I've always been bad at painting. I've tried over the years through many classes, through every once in a while messing around. I was messing around with watercolor pencils yesterday, and that's one thing. It's only like color stuff I can do is markers, and I can do some watercolor pencils. But anything painting wise, I just can't do. What?
I said I hate markers too.
Oh, I love markers though.
Oh, I love markers.
Markers are so good. They're expensive though, but so is paint.
Yeah.
I use 3 Copic markers for like a month in the middle of the ground, which is it sucks that they only lasted a month considering how pricey they are.
Yeah.
But I was like, there isn't anything with markers that I can't already do with another media.
Yeah.
So
my friends
sort of complaint.
Yeah, my friends have Copics and like they do some really cool stuff. Even though they haven't been doing art for a long time, they can just get this amazing like look from the markers. And it's like I wish I could do that, but they're too expensive for me, so I just buy Prismacolor markers, which work just about the same. So there are some issues with the ink I use. The ink would like travel with the marker if I go over the ink with my marker, and I hate it. It makes these black lines.
Well, that's a different. That's depending on the ink you're using, though, because one, especially if you're using Copics have an alcohol, so dragging that across that, and it's just gonna bleed right.
So it does it with Copics too? Aw, man. How am I supposed to fix this problem I have? Because I use ink and I use markers. I don't know how to fix this problem.
You use markers.
What?
You totally cut out.
Yeah.
Dude, are you still there?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm here. What's up?
So what do you use?
Yeah, no, it's markers and name. That way you take the spready bleediness out, the variable out of the equation.
I was thinking maybe if I can get some of that, what's it called, the G pen and actual bottles of ink, and starting how to do stuff with that, and maybe that won't drag as much. hoping it says it dries
Well,
faster and all that stuff.
again though, because ink, depending on the ink,
Mhm.
it's just about the way that it's the what ink is.
Oh, you're cutting out like crazy, dude.
Yeah, he's just gone.
Oh no. Well, I could tell you something that I know about ink because I used to use a lot of ink, and I
Okay.
do every so often.
Okay.
There's actually another
Now you're choppy.
product that came in. Oh, okay, you're back?
Oh, he made it. He's alive.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. Is it
What
your
it says, they
connection
have
that's
marker
the...
paper. I'm on wireless down in the studio. It's always bad down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know marker paper, and that helps a bit, but unless I let the ink dry for like days on end, and even then, if I push too hard, it goes with the marker and it drives me up the wall. 'Cause like if I draw a face and I do the eyes, of course, in ink and stuff, and then I go over with color, almost always I can't help but for that ink to spread into the marker color because it's an eye, it's a very small eye. I can't just dab it once and it be colored the way I want it to be without ink going everywhere. It's a pain. It's one reason I don't use markers a lot. And also,
No.
then I get ink on top of the marker tips, and next time I use that marker, it's got black stuff coming out.
Oh, yeah, I had that problem too.
Yeah.
So let me see. I think this was the last sketchbook. Yeah, this was the one that I did all the marker stuff with. So this one became a painting. I just basically did most of the whole thing in markers, and then I did the ink over top to kind of detail.
Mhm.
But I basically just used it, and then there's all the nasty bleed through too. I actually kept a
Yeah.
piece of paper on the other
Yeah.
side to let it bleed through.
You have to.
Otherwise, I
If
had
you go to my
problems.
sketchbook, you see some of the stuff does bleed through. I'm like, oh well,
Yeah,
whatever. It's a sketchbook.
I used it a few times in the beginning, and then I came back to it about halfway through. My thing is I found it was really useful for I think if I was doing figures
Yeah.
and like slowly building up things from like more of a gesture skeleton structure on
Mhm.
through, it would be a lot easier. But for my type of work for
Yeah.
landscapes, I just didn't find it that useful.
I think that's what Psycho does. He does a lot of stuff with markers, like going from skeletons to like a finished pose. He uses markers a lot to get the base of it
Yeah,
done.
it would be great for that. Be absolutely perfect for something like that.
I can't.
But,
I can't just make a pose from my mind like Psycho can using skeletons. I don't know how those work. I can't do it. I've tried.
well,
I have to physically
Well,
see
lots
the
of
whole
experience.
body. Yeah.
like I love drawing skeletons. I've showed Ben my portfolio. Um, if I have a choice between two different subject materials, I'm probably going to choose the skeleton almost every time.
Yeah.
It's like,
My
oh, I'm going to
thing
draw
with
a
the
tombstone. I could put an angel on it, or I could put a skeleton.
Yeah. I just never understood the whole skeleton thing. Like, why should I practice how to do a skeleton when I can just practice how to draw poses without doing skeletons and doing the bones and learning the muscles? If I can just learn how to draw a human without doing all that stuff, it just seems to be a lot faster and more efficient. And that's probably why I'm not as good as I should be now. I could be a lot better if I started with skeletons and then work my way up.
It's
it's
always
I think it's about
generally easier to start with a basic structure because then you understand how it moves in space
Yeah.
and how different parts of the anatomy interact with the structure.
Maybe it's because I just hate anatomy in school. Maybe that's why I don't do it. Um,
Uh, you know what? You need to have a really good teacher for it.
I'm homeschooled, so it's teaching myself.
Um, hmm.
So that plus Sigmas and bins and any artists on YouTube. Only way I've learned how to do art is just do videos of myself.
Well,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
no, there isn't because essentially if you have the skill set, it doesn't matter how you acquire it. And to be honest, in this day and age, it's less relevant for you to go to school to learn those skill sets
yeah.
because you'll go in debt like crazy going to
Uh,
school
my
for art.
parents are like, well, first they're like, you have to go college and stuff, and of course I want to go art college. But then I tell them, oh well, if everyone says it's not worth it, just do online classes if anything. And they're like, no, you need to go to college.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And now my mom's like, you know what? Don't even do art college. You're not motivated enough. She thinks I won't be able to draw every day and that kind of stuff. And she's probably right, because I don't draw often. And so like now I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. Stupid
Oh,
college.
draw every day.
Yeah, I try, but I don't end up doing it.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
if you're not drawing every day, start drawing every day.
Yeah.
It does wonders for
Yeah.
you.
I know.
Like when I started doing it, it was just I did it for the challenge on the second channel,
Yeah, I love that.
and I haven't stopped.
I know you have.
I love it. Love every I love every second of
I
just
started-
drawing every day. And it just puts you in such a mood.
I started doing it for like a long time. At least every 2 days, if anything. And I just started when I was 2. I couldn't think of any more original stuff, or I couldn't find any more motivation. And then I was like, I'm busy this week. Oh,
That's when you do studies. You start to when you like most of I would say a good 75% of the sketching I'm doing is studies.
And you learn the most from those because you're forcing your brain to notice patterns.
Right.
Like-
This actually makes a good transition back into the topic about making conscious efforts to improve the things that are important. So it's like I'm going to make a conscious effort to really think about my composition, or really think about the details, or really think about the shapes and the visual impact. I've been doing a lot of these blocky shapes in my work lately. That's sort of what I'm doing with the watercolor here, and it's both an exercise in shapes, but it forces you to think about space in ways that you may not otherwise. Because very easily the entire panel could be black, and then you're screwed. So you have to really think and make conscious efforts about what you're doing, and that's actually where being self-taught can sort of make or break whatever you're doing. Because like you can just sketch endlessly, but unless you're thinking, why am I doing this? Then you're going to start hitting roadblocks.
Totally agree with that.
I'm trying to fix my camera now because I just noticed it's flickering. Like the brightness would go. Is it fixed now?
It could just be some general interference, or
I think it's
something
fixed
with
now.
something with the refresh rate. Maybe.
I don't know. Okay, it's fixed now. It's just really dark. Shoot. Oh, not to the right. Okay. It's probably because my lights are turned off, and the only thing that's lighting it up is the monitor. That might be it.
Oh, that can be an issue.
Yeah. Oh well. I was just going through a sketchbook anyway. Just trying to get it done.
So yeah, it's like making that conscious effort to really improve the things that you need to.
And to be fair, that's when you know, like, here's the thing, school is good if you aren't able to motivate yourself to do the work on your own.
That's
Then
what I've been
school
doing.
makes sense.
And that's why I think I should go to it, because I can't make myself do this all over.
Can't or won't. There is a difference.
You're right. Won't do it because I'm lazy, and that's how I am. But of course, once I'm paying lots and lots of money to do it every day out of school, then I think I would be more motivated to do it because I'm paying lots of money to do it.
You would think so.
$20,000. Yeah, see, that's not always the case.
I'm only hoping
Yeah.
so, because it's $90,000 without anything.
Holy crap! No, don't do it. Don't waste your
Don't
money.
do it. Don't do it. I'm just,
No.
it's not worth it.
No, it's
Because
It will
good.
never put you in debt for life.
The other thing is,
I'd be so close to you.
no, the other thing about it is that even if you get that good art education and it helps, you won't make that much money as an artist to pay back your debt within
no.
like 10 years.
It's not
You'll
like
be
just
paying
like-
it back for the rest of your life.
It's not like traditional art. I'm going to media animation, and my
But
friends.
it doesn't matter.
No,
No, it doesn't matter.
Artists don't make that much.
You going to
Well-
advertise on that?
Okay, sorry, what exactly is the course?
Which one?
And here's the thing, you have to look at it, and you have to tell yourself two things. If you're going to invest that money, you better be sure as hell guaranteed a job. Most schools don't guarantee you internships, which is pretty much the only way you'll get a job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be waiting like 5, 6 years like I did, trying to accrue the skills that you need to actually be competitive in the market so that they can't say no. Because that's the thing, is unless you have connections in the industry, it's going to be really hard to get in. Because they're going to tell their buddies before they tell you.
I actually do have a connection into the advertisement and agency side of doing web. Because my friend's father he used to work for an agency and make tons. He was a lead agency person, management dude. He made tons, and then he moved to West Virginia and started working his own. He does his own business now, doing it. And I hopefully will work part time with him eventually once I get better.
Well, again, but like
But that's not a guarantee.
Don't use one possible opportunity. Don't use that as the only reason.
No.
We're not trying to say like don't want to
don't do it.
No, like I don't want to say something that's gonna
you need to know what you're doing before.
Affect your future. Right. I don't want to totally affect your future or anything, but you have to see all the angles.
Yeah. Well, I still think I'm probably just gonna do art stuff on the side and go and do an actual job
Yeah, that's
more paying job.
That's how I've been sort of progressing. I didn't go to an art school. I didn't want to go to an art school because I didn't want art to be my main job because I didn't want to lose my passion for it, which is ironic because that's exactly what I'm trying to do now is to work and I've been working getting my art into the city, which has been significantly more difficult than I thought it would have been in the first place, which I don't know why I thought it was.
You have the college I want to go to in your city. I mean, there's got to be artists everywhere in that city.
Well, there's artists everywhere in general. That's the thing. And the question is, what type of artists are they? Because I work in framing.
Good thing is,
I work in framing, and I get customers that come up to me all the time, and they're like, "I'm an artist." Everybody can claim to be an artist. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're artists.
Okay, Ben, what do you do for a job?
I got 2 jobs right now. In the evening, I clean floors. During the day, I just started this. I work in a place that does large-scale custom printing for businesses.
Okay. I couldn't
in addition to my art.
Okay. I was trying to think, like, do you do framing too? Because I know Tyler's Art Shack does framing. I know Yasmeen here does framing too. It's like, does Ben do framing also? Does everyone just do framing? Should I do framing? Should I do this? I see everybody's always doing it. Like, maybe I should just go.
Well, you don't need to go to school for framing to learn framing.
Yeah.
All you do is you get a job in a framing department, and then you learn for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, that being said, there is certain skill sets which you can't learn easily in framing, and they're more advanced skill sets. Because in Europe, and at work, I've been, like, when we have the luxury, which is very, very, very rare, and we have to obviously ask management approval, because these are techniques that we would only use in special cases. Because I hate to say it, but in Canada and US in general, when you're framing something, people just want what everybody else has.
Yeah.
But in Europe, framing is actually an art. So they approach it as an art form, which is completely different. And if you want to learn those framing skill sets, then that's worthwhile because you would be learning bookbinding skills because they actually make their mats from scratch. They also learn, I think they actually learn woodworking skills and restoration as well. But that's super advanced stuff, but it looks amazing if it's done properly. I've done about 2 demos, 2 different matting demos, and that's just the mats that I've essentially taken inspiration from those techniques. And I show it to people, they think it's amazing. Will they buy it? No.
Yeah.
It's a couple hundred.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have another 2 years, more or less, to actually think about.
And there's also the level of, I mean, I went to college, and one of the reasons that I do art now is because I spent more time in school painting than I did doing my schoolwork.
My mom seems to think
which I don't recommend, by the way, but.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm drawing. I should be doing school right now, but I'm drawing, so whatever.
But yeah, I mean, and granted, I'm not a design oriented person. I'm visual fine art, but at the same time, it's so much of it is it's business. It's things other than um, things other than just your skill set.
And the people that get hired are not necessarily the most talented people. You have to also understand that. You have to be so good that they can't say no.
Right. Or give them a reason not to say no. Like,
Yeah.
just keep bugging them. You gonna hire me yet? You gonna hire me yet?
Yeah, within reason though, because then they'll just blacklist you.
Oh, yeah.
Here I am. I'm
Like,
ready to
it's
do work.
doable. It's just you better be damn good to get in there if you don't have a lot of connections, and I mean a lot of connections.
Yeah.
Because most
Like
of the people,
I've really the past, I would say 6 months, have really sort of started to understand the idea of being able to network in person with people. And just like you go to an event and you talk to people, and there's a guy I really I hope I can get him into a live show at some point. I met him at my recent showing with Raw. He's shown in Manhattan and New York City. He's shown in like other big cities, probably like pretty sure he's been to like Cleveland and Chicago and in different probably Philly. I'm pretty sure he was there, and really amazing artist. And his thing was like, if you're at an event and you're talking about your art and you have like a booth or a table or something, it's like his suggestion was don't let anybody walk away without you saying something to them, even if it's just hi, how you doing, get that contact. It's social networking, but it's real life social networking. You're not forcing yourself behind a computer screen. You have to force yourself to be social to sell your work, especially if you're in a public venue.
which for most artists they struggle with. There was a time when I actually struggled with doing stuff like that. Now I'm whatever. I'm just going to talk to you if I want to.
Yeah.
It's easier. But it's
So
not something that comes naturally, I think, to most artists, unless, okay, there's certain artists it obviously does, but they're annoying to deal with. Yeah.
I'm gonna rein you guys back in here. Got a little more on the topic. Back to craftsmanship.
Yes.
Not just talking about promoting yourself and trying to convince him not to go to art school.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
think I was going to
no,
go
he
anyway.
can go, but he better be able to make that money back, because that's the thing. You owe somebody something if you go into
Yeah.
debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough, sort of lucky enough that I have a very minor degree, but I'm not in debt, and it's so huge to not have to be making monthly payments.
Yep.
It's
Well, you can live.
Right.
Nice.
Neat. Eat things besides Pop-Tarts and Top Ramen.
Oh man, look.
Ironically enough, I had Top Ramen for lunch.
I had
Anyway.
that was up class. Pop Tarts are expensive. You don't want those.
So the one, this is actually kind of, again, ties into what we're talking about. There is some level of poor artistry. However, there is some level of aesthetic appeal and design that can go beyond poor artistry. Like if somebody likes like certain modern art, things that are highly design-based, sculptural, anyone who does found object art, it's like the pure aesthetics of something can actually outweigh some levels of craftsmanship and artistry, but at the same time, it's not foolproof. Like you might be able to get a few pieces out there, and then some people are going to be like, oh wait, this person has no idea what they're doing.
Well, you are assuming that the people understand a certain level of intellect, though.
That's
'Cause
true.
that's the thing. Like, an artist would understand that that person knows nothing, but the general public doesn't. They'll just follow the leader,
Mm-hmm.
which is
That's very
unfortunate.
Yes. I've got a very large post on that on my blog. So
Yeah.
I talk about sort of the definitions of craftsmanship and everything else, but kind of break it down into sort of the more concentrated stuff of why is it actually that important. I put my brush down for a bit. So I lost my place. Should get a drink.
Sorry.
Think for a second.
Like why it's important to have craftsmanship?
I didn't space my outline out. It's just a big chunk of text. That's
Oh,
why.
well, that makes it
Well, I mean,
hard to deal with.
it's formatted. I've got bullet points, but I usually give it like an extra half a spacing, just so I can see.
Okay.
Anyway, so we talked before about avoiding the rushed look in your piece, and the fact that you didn't. I don't want to say you, like you personally, but the fact that some people may not have taken their time. Um, I think a good way to look at craftsmanship is when you look at 3D art, specifically prop making, and something like the steampunkers that make these really intricate, whether they be like a glove or like just like a little gadget of sorts, or whatever they happen to be.
They're really fun to do. Like I do some last month. That was a lot of fun.
And it's this idea of matching a style, and there's kind of two sides to this. Are you going to use like period accurate materials to make this? It's like that shows a level of craftsmanship to where you're saying, rather than using just like sort of this plasticky faux leather thing, I'm going to get an actual piece of leather. It may not necessarily have to be expensive leather. You can get cheaper, thinner stuff and sort of plate it on top of something else. But it's like, are you trying to keep it as period accurate as you can, or are you just kind of using quick, cheap foam, plastic, whatever? Sort of, it's that thrown together look versus
whatever works. That's what I say.
Well, then there's the idea of using more modern materials, but this is sort of the artistry and the mastery of it is, can you use plastics and foam and either paint it or cover it in something and weather it to make it look old? There's a great video. I think Yasmeen's familiar with it because I've brought it up enough. With it tested.
Oh
here on
God,
YouTube.
yeah.
I love that channel.
There's a great. It's a couple of guys, Will Smith, not that one, and Norman Chan, as well as Adam and Jamie from MythBusters, who they build things and talk about tech and all kind of stuff, cool stuff. And there's this one where it's in Adam's shop, and he has a box, which for some fancy microscope that he has, and he's like, he built the box. It's like wood, and it's like has this like white enamel paint on it, but he spends like this 15 minutes just beating the hell out of it, like hitting it with things and painting on it and spilling coffee on it to give it a weathered look. And it's that idea of you're creating something that looks like it's been through its paces, but in fact it's a brand new box. So you have like stickers that are worn off, and it's like that is such a great example of his mastery and craftsmanship to creating something that looks old but isn't. And so that's I think a really good example of sort of what I'm talking about in terms of creating something that's visual, but you're taking your time on it, and you're saying, okay, this is almost there, and I'll work on it later, or I'll come back to it some other time. And it's a great video if you haven't checked it out. You probably just search like Adam Savage and then like weathering techniques, I think it is.
Just do tested and then box out with chest. I've seen him do a couple of different ones.
Yeah, there's I think the actual video title is something like Weathering Techniques, but it's a really good video to check out.
I love watching him do the prop videos because it always inspires me to make more props because I think props are cool.
Yeah, I don't think my claw's down here anymore. I think you guys have probably seen that, though. I've brought it out a handful of times.
What is it?
Plus it was I had these sort of rubbery gloves for handling frozen things, and I took paper claws and attached them to them. I have two hands, and I dipped them in a like a house paint to get a coating on top of them, and spray painted them black to get them, and they're really fun. There's a video. There's a DMC Films mini that I'm wearing them, and it's really fun.
Okay.
But yeah, so although those were very thrown together because
it was still your craftsmanship. Your ideas that okay, I can use this type of paint.
I had the level of Artistry, I did not have the level of mastery.
But at least you knew what you needed and how to use it.
Well, I did that in the same time as there were two of them. The first one I did, and the second one I did like 6 months after that. I'm like, okay, I learned from my mistakes after the first one. Let's try again. Let's try again. And the first one is really stiff, and you could only wear it for about 10 minutes before your hand starts to hurt. And the other one, it's much looser. There's a lot more flex to it. So, and then wearing the pair just feels really weird, off balanced and everything. So when you think about this idea of whether you're using period accurate materials to steampunk something, or you're creating weathering techniques on something new, there's also this level of, does it look complete? And especially when talking about drawing and painting, it's, does it look complete? I don't ask myself this as often anymore, just because I've gotten better at recognizing it. But I used to say, a piece is finished if it looks like you'll do anything else to it, you're going to mess it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my level of, does it look complete? Like it's like, am I finished to the point where anything else would screw it up? Yes. Okay, good. I'm done.
It's like that saying: it takes two people to paint, one to do the painting, and one to tell you when to stop.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll have to remember that one.
By that sense, you could have, it's a painting by committee. He's going to paint it. He's going to tell you when to stop. This guy's going to tell you what you're doing wrong.
You can be the one telling me what I'm doing wrong, Ben. Let's have you judge it.
I've learned to think with a critical eye. What can I say? There is, I want to tease this again at the end of the show, but whether it's going to be a blog post, it probably won't be. It'll probably be the next thing to hit the second channel. And I guess I can talk about the title now. I'm going to calling it Study Sessions. And it's going to be similar to what if anyone watches like Will Terrell's videos, where he's working on his people sketching, and then he has sort of a topic to talk about. So the first one I'm going to do is called project-based learning. And it's sort of how I've kind of learned everything I have over the years and through techniques and how to draw and paint different things. That's a project-based thing. So that is coming up to the second channel probably in the next couple of months. I don't know when I'm getting around to it. But yeah, so that kind of ties into this topic as well. I also found this out when I was searching, back to the sort of the why is it important aspect. I wanted to say, like, okay, well, why is it important in general? Why is it important, losing my train of thought. If you're just joining us, we're talking about craftsmanship. Anyway, so yeah, this is something I came across while searching craftsmanship online and researching stuff for the show, is that when you consider whatever you're doing, whether you're making sort of a three-dimensional piece or you're doing a drawing or a painting, if you sort of refer to your work as something that either is or contains artistic craftsmanship, it's actually easier to protect it through copyright, because it's a thing. It's a thing that you made, so it's it's that, in that sense, it's something that's very specifically yours. And I found that to actually be a rather interesting point to everything.
So, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think craftsmanship? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Leonardo da Vinci's sketches. Okay. For me,
because he planned things.
Yeah, he did. He made a lot of things. They were cool. For me, though, when I hear craftsmanship, I think instantly Amish country made wooden chairs. I don't know why. I think because that's the craftsmanship. That's what they say on all those shops. Craftsmanship, custom-made wooden Amish chairs, Amish wood. Anything I heard craftsmanship, I always go to wood, and how each one's different because each person crafts it themselves.
But at the same time, with something that's wood, you're looking at something that's well built and it's sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hold up over time.
It's not IKEA craftsmanship. It's Amish country.
Well, the difference is like most of the stuff you buy nowadays are made by machines, not people.
Mm-hmm.
So something that's handmade is normally the artist or the individual that's working on the piece, because they have to be an artist to a certain degree at least.
Right.
Even if it's a very technical skill,
Mm-hmm.
they have to look at the problem and find solutions to that problem and then hand make those individual parts to fit it.
So there is a human component to
Yeah.
something that has craftsmanship.
So a robot made a program, or even video games do this. Each time you make a new level in the video game, it custom makes it from assets. Is that not craftsmanship then? Because it's not human made. You can't say, oh man, that looks. This
Not
map
to the
looks-
same degree. I think there's a
No.
slight. You might have like I would say like a 5% craftsmanship for whoever had to write the code for it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at the same time, it's like I would say a computer just running a simulation. It's it's not a craft. They're just it's like random set of numbers generates a thing. You know.
Well, I think it depends on what you're looking at in that context, though, because there is craftsmanship involved in making the assets itself.
Mm-hmm.
So making, because that's the thing is, let's say you go into a dungeon that's procedurally generated, the computer's still taking original content that was created by people that needed to model, needed to design all these elements. So there's craftsmanship in the unique aspects that build up the final product. But the layout and the combination of those individual pieces is not craftsmanship. The unique individual parts are.
You nailed it. That's it. You got it. Moving on.
But when you use craftsmanship, do you use it as a verb or a noun? Because some say, wow, whoever made these gloves have a lot of craftsmanship in them. They've
It's
worked
a
really
noun.
well. Noun? Okay.
Yeah, but to be making something with it's a noun or maybe like an adjective.
Okay.
So something that is well crafted, like a beer.
I could.
Well, it's just no, because there's a movement in the country right now about small micro distilleries and microbreweries, and people, rather than just mass producing everything in a tank, they're taking their time with it. You know, they're doing in things individually. They're making sure the flavors are right. You know, so it's the craft beer movement. But yeah, it's the same level of craftsmanship to that.
And the big
degree.
difference too in that situation, what would distinguish it between something that's mass produced is that every batch will be slightly different, but will still have the same general taste that everybody's trying to achieve.
Well, then,
That's
in
so
that case,
true.
what if you had a robot who splatters paint all over a canvas randomly? And then every once in a while you get a really good piece, and like, wow, that looks really good. But every once in a while you get a bad piece. And like, oh, someone stopped the machine soon. It should have it kept on going, paint more.
Well, that's the
Well-
aesthetic element. It's whether or not it's a good or a bad piece is going to be, up to the viewer. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, when in the context of a robot, is if it's not actually trying to solve a problem in that, then it's not
Right.
actually trying to create something new.
So the
It's
cra- so
essentially
the,
just
right,
doing
so the
something
so the
new.
craftsmanship there wouldn't exist because there's
Well,
no
not unless
craft.
it was-
There's no craft. It's random.
Yeah, exactly. It would have to be an artificially intelligent robot, and for that to happen, well, obviously our technology is actually not too far. I suspect we probably have maybe one more generation, we'll get close to it. But at that point, we'll have to ask, are robots alive at that point? So can they be creative?
It's then you start getting philosophical with consciousness versus
Exactly.
I mean, we have
intelligence and
robots now that use rats' brains to move and to think and stuff, which are really funny.
that's a little disturbing,
Disturbing.
actually.
Oh yeah, no, we're actually quite close to it. Not maybe to human level, but to animal level. We can recreate how a lot of animals think. At least rats and a couple of different small animals.
Well, because a lot of small animals think in community
Yeah.
that are replicatable
And instinctively, too.
instinctive,
Well, okay,
trying to do
fair.
something for the common good versus for the individual.
Yeah, rat studies are really cool. This is all cool.
We're getting a little off topic, I think.
I know. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm
Note
going
to
to start.
self, draw a rat.
Start reaching some conclusions here. I think it is important both for to design something and create something that both embodies a message that you're trying. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Like as an artist, you're going to tell a message. You want to create something that embodies the message, but you also want to make sure the idea is told accurately. And I think that's a big part of where craftsmanship comes in. It's like you could be trying to make something, and it's like, the idea doesn't really come across. It's like it's craftsmanship is suffering in that sense. So it's like you work on the craft, whether that be planning it better or just making fewer mistakes just by learning. Yeah, so it's the design of something, and then in the process of creating it is like, are you able to tell what you want to tell in terms of the message or the story or whatever the meaning of the piece is, and still be able to do it accurately. Poor execution of something would, in a sense, be poor craftsmanship. But so you again, just reiterating, you allow yourself the time to hone your skills and to build up artistic discipline. Just to whether it be something as simple as sketching every day to build up a consistent pattern with yourself and to keep that mental rhythm going, or if it's something a little bit more complex as to understanding a medium or something like that. It's really essential to becoming a better craftsman in that sense. So that, I think, wraps up most of what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys have any further conclusions to draw from my little spiel tonight.
Nope.
No, not really. It was a fun little topic.
I would write this down in the Bible of how to draw, and I will accept it and live by it now. Okay.
And as a final note, don't take anything I say as absolute 100% fact.
Oh, what? That brings the whole point of having Ben's Bible.
Probably there's. I don't want to say probably. There's always room for reinterpretation and splintering of ideas here, because that's kind of that's what art is.
Yeah.
It's each to their own, and everyone's got to be a little different way.
And well, at the same time, it's like I might say something, but I may not explain it well enough for everybody to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that do get it, it's like, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
But somebody else might say something a little different that contradicts what I say.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works for you and if something clicks in your head, then great. But don't come back and tell me that I'm wrong.
Well, mainly because I don't think you're going to care, too.
No, probably not.
It's going to be a waste of their time and your time.
Can anyone really go wrong? And can anyone go really bad? Like, oh, you should not have drawn that. That's going too far. That's wrong.
Well, technically, they can't tell you it's wrong. It's your own interpretation.
I'm saying, so no one can go wrong in all.
You may not like their interpretation.
Yeah, it's very true. It's that it's like, oh, there's no such thing as wrong art. Oh, there's very much such a thing as wrong art. It's whether or not you want to accept that. There's actually there's a museum. I think it's in Massachusetts. It's called the Museum of Bad Art.
Can't be in there.
It's hilarious to look at this stuff. It basically celebrates poor quality stuff.
Well, I think if we use our definition that we've come to conclude today, then that would just, in most cases, just be them not actually trying to refine their skill sets to the point where they produce something that's very craftsmanship-like.
It is somewhat like that. I think a lot of the stuff at the museum is things from a lot of small-time artists or people who just did it as a hobby, and so they were really trying to make something nice, but it just did not turn out well.
Oh, if art was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
I'll be the first to say it's like it's not easy to get into art, let alone be an artist.
Yeah, I've been saying this a lot in the past couple of years, is that if you don't know how to work and to work hard, you're not going to be successful as an artist.
No,
You
because
have to be
people
able to work
judge you
hard.
so much more. And generally most people don't okay, it'll depend on which populace you're looking at, because obviously certain groups are actually much better at understanding the value of art. But a lot of the societies today, at least in Canada, they don't really value the concept of art. Like,
That's
when I was
sad.
at Comic-Con, it was like people would come up to you and say, "Oh, how much is that? Five
Yeah.
bucks?" I'm like, "No, it's 40 so that I can actually have a roof over my head." And that's still
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you think I got here? I didn't teleport here, and if I teleported, I would have to be rich.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. So as a final plug, again, the project-based learning thing that's going to be up on the second channel Sketch Every Day, preferably within the next month and a half, but we'll see when I get around to it. With my current 2-job work schedule, it's been I put this video up. I put a video up Wednesday where I'm just like, it's getting really hard to find time to edit videos now.
Yeah.
Then don't edit them. One take. That's all you need.
Oh
Oh,
no.
God,
You've
no.
seen my outtakes? Come on.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the. Those are hilarious. I love watching those.
Oh man.
When's the last time you did one? I'm seeing one.
Well, I'm
I,
I need, I need a good laugh. Just go watch one of those.
uh, December was my recent outtake video. I do them 2 times a year. I do first half and second half, so June and December, or
Dang.
July and December, whatever it ends up being.
I watched it then.
It's worth it. Check it out later. So yeah, I think we're gonna to wrap up the live portion of the show. I imagine we'll all kind of be hanging out post show and everything else. One though, last look, I guess, over in the comments. Pretty much just one eat in, sanatorium. But thanks everyone for tuning in. If you guys want to plug anything of your own, feel free to do so.
yeah. If you guys want to see some more of my art, you can check it out at yarkspearyfantasyart.com. I'm not going to spell that, sorry guys.
I'll stick it in the description later.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Tomorrow when I time code this.
Okay.
Tomorrow, if you want to look at my stuff, you can. I don't upload it on YouTube anymore, but I do on Instagram every so often, which is truegenicode on Instagram. If you want to go over there, it's a lot easier to just do that than do videos. So, and DeviantArt at truegenicode.
All right. So that's about it, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this at all, please be sure to like the video and comment after the show, and share this video around with your friends and fellow artists and everything like that. As before, I'm Ben Yako. I'm an artist living and working just north of Pittsburgh, PA, here in the United States. You can find out more about my art as well as some resources for learning and growing artists on my website, cinderblockstudios.com. On my website, you can find links out to other social media on the links page, as well as right back here to the YouTube channel, and often over on Twitter as well, which I've been sharing a bit over on there in the past couple of weeks or so, and it's at CinderBlockArts on Twitter. So thanks everyone for watching. I lost it. I had that really it was good, and then it all went to pieces.
It's late and you work 2 jobs.
It is
It's understandable.
It is. I was off both of them today, which is why I was able to do this. Also, haven't eaten anything in like 6 hours.
Eat.
So
We need to get live.
So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe for more art videos and live hangouts like this one. This has been from DMC Films and Cinderblock Studios. See you guys next time.
Bye.